then Epstein was introduced to Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's accomplice in the whole sex trafficking scandal. And they say Ghislaine's in jail. I don't even think Ghislaine's in jail. I actually bumped into her at the store last week. She was like, "Pardon me." I was like, "No, thank you." Ghislaine Maxwell, who is the daughter of Robert Maxwell, a known Mossad asset. He died of natural causes, mysteriously fell off his yacht one day. And suddenly Epstein got very rich shortly after. So again, nothing to see here. We know that the money he used for this operation was leveraged by Israel. At the same time, he became acquainted with a lot of very powerful people who were associated with Israel. For instance, former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak. Not Ehud Barack Obama, that's a different. He was actually seen many times on camera approaching Epstein's apartment and walking in, and he would always wear a mask. And this was pre-COVID. This was trying to hide. This guy got caught on camera going into Epstein's house only to be recorded on more cameras. Also, Bill Clinton. A lot of pictures of Clinton with Epstein. It's not a good look. Clinton, obviously, very tied to Israel. He was brokering all those deals in the 90s. Alan Dershowitz, who's Israel's lawyer, also Epstein's lawyer. All of these people, as soon as they started hanging out with Epstein, Israel started to distance themselves because these people posed a reputational risk for Israel, which says a lot. If you're threatening Israel's reputation, you've really f***ed up. Here's why we know that Epstein was an Israeli asset. Epstein got all of his money having stock in Israel, and he knew all these people who were liabilities to Israel. And liabilities plus equity equals assets. Epstein was an Israeli asset. I know, there's a lot of information I'm accounting for. Epstein worked for intelligence, and I'm not going to say who it was, but it was Mossad. I can't say it too much. I don't want to get into legal trouble. Let's just say he enjoyed massages. He was not good to women. He was a misogynist. Don't hate me for delivering the message, okay? I'm going to prove it formally tonight. I had the privilege of taking an accounting class in college. Anybody here take an accounting class? Oh, equal number of people on both sides. You got the debits on the left, credits on the right. You learn about this thing called the accounting equation. Very creative name. Assets equals liabilities plus equity. The total assets of a person or a company is equal to the sum of all the liabilities they have, the debt plus the equity they have, the stock. That's a little life hack if you want to increase your net worth. Rack up a ton of debt and sell stock in yourself. Epstein, he got rich all of a sudden after his teaching job, because it doesn't pay apparently. And he became a consultant, which is not a real job. I'm sorry, guys. If that offends any consultants in here, talk after the show. You can bill me after. Great business model you have. This is when he started to be introduced to very high-profile people. One person he notably worked with, Adnan Khashoggi, a figure in Saudi Arabia, worked together to finance the Iran-Contra affair.
Yeah, that seems good. Oh, Molotov just kills him, okay.
Where Israel was funneling weapons into Iran to stir up a regime change, which is not relevant to now at all. He had to work directly with Israeli intelligence, so clearly he was introduced to Mossad. He got even richer when he met Leslie Wexner, the CEO of Victoria's Secret, which a perv would want to work with. Leslie Wexner had a lot of stock with Israel and Israel's economy. When Epstein started to work with him, he suddenly got a lot richer. Then Epstein was introduced to Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's accomplice in the whole sex trafficking scandal. And they say Ghislaine's in jail. I don't even think Ghislaine's in jail. I actually bumped into her at the store last week. She was like, "Pardon me." I was like, "No, thank you." Ghislaine Maxwell, who is the daughter of Robert Maxwell, a known Mossad asset. He died of natural causes, mysteriously fell off his yacht one day. And suddenly Epstein got very rich shortly after. So again, nothing to see here. We know that the money he used for this operation was leveraged by Israel. At the same time, he became acquainted with a lot of very powerful people who were associated with Israel. For instance, former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak. Not Ehud Barack Obama, that's a different. He was actually seen many times on camera approaching Epstein's apartment and walking in, and he would always wear a mask. This was pre-COVID. This is what we're trying to hide. This guy got caught on camera going into Epstein's house only to be recorded on more cameras. Also, Bill Clinton. A lot of pictures of Clinton with Epstein. It's not a good look. Clinton, obviously, very tied to Israel. He was brokering all those deals in the 90s. Alan Dershowitz, who's Israel's lawyer, also Epstein's lawyer. All of these people, as soon as they started hanging out with Epstein, Israel started to distance themselves because these people posed a reputational risk for Israel, which says a lot. If you're threatening Israel's reputation, you've really f***ed up. Here's why we know that Epstein was an Israeli asset. Epstein got all of his money having stock in Israel, and he knew all these people who were liabilities to Israel. And liabilities plus equity equals assets. Epstein was an Israeli asset. Here's why we know There's a lot of information I'm accounting for. Epstein works for intelligence, and I'm not going to say who it was, but it was Mossad. I can't say it too much. I don't want to get into legal trouble. Let's just say he enjoyed massages. He was not good to women. He was a misogynist. Don't hate me for delivering the Mossad, okay? I'm going to prove it formally tonight. I have the privilege of taking an accounting class in college. Anybody here taking an accounting class? Let's just say equal number of people on both sides. You got the devil's on the left, devil's on the right. You learn about this thing called the accounting equation. Very creative name. Assets equals liabilities plus equity. The total assets of a person or a company is equal to the sum of all the liabilities they have, the debt plus the equity they have, the stock. That's a little life hack if you want to increase your net worth. Rack up a ton of debt and sell stock in yourself. Epstein, he got rich all of a sudden after his teaching job because it doesn't pay apparently. And he became a consultant, which is not a real job. Sorry, that offends any consultants in here. This podcast will show you can go yourself. This is when he started to be introduced to very high-profile people. One person he notably worked with, Adnan Khashoggi, a figure in Saudi Arabia, worked together to finance the Iran-Contra affair, where Israel was funneling weapons into Iran to stir up a regime change, which is not relevant to now at all. He had to work directly with Israeli intelligence, so clearly he was introduced to Mossad. He got even richer when he met Leslie Wexner, the CEO of Victoria's Secret, which a perp would want to work with. Leslie Wexner had a lot of stock with Israel and Israel's economy. When Epstein started to work with him, he suddenly got a lot richer. Then Epstein was introduced to Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's accomplice in the whole sex trafficking scandal. And they say Ghislaine's in jail. I don't even think Ghislaine's in jail. I actually bumped into her at the store last week. She was like, "Pardon me." I was like, "No, thank you." Ghislaine Maxwell, who was the daughter of Robert Maxwell, a known Mossad asset. He died of natural causes, mysteriously fell off his yacht one day. And suddenly Epstein got very rich shortly after. So again, nothing to see here. We know that the money he used for this operation was leveraged by Israel. At the same time, he became acquainted with a lot of very powerful people who were associated with Israel. For instance, former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak. Not Ehud Barack Obama, that's a different. He was actually seen many times on camera approaching Epstein's apartment and walking in, and he would always wear a mask. This was pre-COVID. This was trying to hide. This guy got caught on camera going into Epstein's house only to be recorded on 4 cameras. Also, Bill Clinton. A lot of pictures of Clinton with Epstein. It's not a good look. Clinton, obviously, very tied to Israel. He was brokering all those deals in the 90s. Alan Dershowitz, who's Israel's lawyer. Also Epstein's lawyer. All of these people, as soon as they started hanging out with Epstein, Israel started to distance themselves. Because these people posed a reputational risk for Israel, which says a lot. If you're threatening Israel's reputation, you really Here's why we know Epstein was an Israeli asset. Epstein got all of his money having stock in Israel. And he knew all these people who were liabilities to Israel. And liabilities plus equity equals assets. Epstein was an Israeli asset. I know, there's a lot of information I'm accounting for.
Oh my gosh, Diddy. Oh my gosh, Epstein.
There's a lot of information I'm accounting for.
Did y'all know that? Oh my God! Did y'all know that? Stop being fooled by this bullshit, cause they ain't dropping shit for redacted documents. Did y'all know that? On that shit, so they can do what the fuck they want to the reality. Why nobody paying the fuck attention? Pay the fuck attention, people!
They told you Donald Trump was part of the problem, but the newly unsealed records from 2026 says that he was the first one trying to take Epstein's empire down. Look, it says right here, Trump told blank that he was around Epstein once when teenagers were present, and Trump got the hell out of there. Trump was one of the very first people to call when people found out that they were investigating Epstein. Ooh, that destroys the left's narrative. This was in 2006, way before the mainstream media cared. Trump was one of the very first people to call the police. He didn't just call, he sounded the alarms when others were still taking private jet rides to his island. It says here, according to the FBI's own interview with the former police chief, Trump told law enforcement that Ghislaine Maxwell was an evil operative. Thank goodness for stopping him. Everyone has known that he's been doing this. Trump said that. He wanted the truth out, and what are we seeing? While names like Clinton are being linked to skinny dipping, Trump's name shows that he got the hell out of there as soon as he saw something wrong. He banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago in 2007 while the rest of Palm Beach stayed silent. The media won't give this the 24/7 coverage that it deserves because it completely destroys their narrative. They want you to think that he was one of them, but these documents prove that he was the whistleblower. He knew Maxwell was evil, and he told the cops to focus on on her. The Epstein files are finally unsealed, and the truth is favoring the 47th president. Would you look at that? And the truth
it's all starting to make sense to me now.
Would you look at that? And the truth
it's all starting to make sense to me now.
Would you look at that? And the truth
it's all starting to make sense to me now.
Would you look at that?
It's all starting to make sense to me now.
The creatures who deceive the humans of God were reptile-like creatures called reptilians. The reptilians like to eat the animal's earth and occasionally enjoy eating the flesh too. They brainwashed the earthlings by using the name of God when their true intentions were to invade and overtake the earth.
But this was a violation of the universal code, which states that no planet should interfere with any other planet as long as its people live with the spirit of love and harmony.
Cunningly devised a plan that would not breach the universal code.
They brainwashed individuals and used them to instigate disorder in society. This gave the reptilians a reason to interfere. They then intended to have their compatriots immigrate to Earth so they could control the planet before the space police interfered. So they could control the planet before the space police interfered.
To take your daughter. She has been chosen to be the next sacrifice to God.
Listen well, everyone. I have a message directly from God. He wants you all to know that we are the chosen people. An everlasting youth. Let the sacrifice begin.
Okay, honestly, the more I look at it, Epstein wasn't actually a bad man if you think about it, aside from trafficking underage girls, of course. And I know it sounds crazy, but look at this. Chatting with the head of Nobel Peace Prize, who gave a Peace Prize to Obama, Epstein was willing to let the guy settle on his island in case Trump won the election. Like, Epstein actually understood the danger of a dictator like Trump. So he was willing to help others who had problems with Trump. That's a good man, aside from trafficking underage girls, of course.
Of course, I never saw it that way, but it makes sense.
Exactly, and here, Epstein clearly knew that Trump was a bad man. In this email, he called Trump dangerous, saying that there is, quote, not one decent cell in his body. That's just pure honesty, aside from trafficking underage girls, of course.
Of course.
Yes, yeah, and it gets even better. He was actively seeking advice on how to take down Trump. He was trying to help us. How can you look at that and say that Epstein was not a decent guy, aside from trafficking underage girls, of course? Yeah, right? And he keeps proving himself. In a hearing, in real time, Epstein was suggesting questions to a Democrat representative on how to grill Trump harder. In Trump's first term, he was actively donating to Democrats who were opposing Trump. How can you look at that and say that is not a guy who cares about our democracy and our freedom, aside from trafficking underage girls, of course? And I don't even see why the trafficking thing actually matters, because in addition to LGBTQ+, we have actively used academia and advocacy to empower those who identify as minor attracted person, aka MAPS. And since Jeffrey Epstein was a MAP, we must remain respectful toward his core identity, of course. Yeah. So obvious.
So this is an email from Howard Lutnick to Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, Howie.
December 19th, 2012.
And he said 2005?
Over 7 years since that alleged massage table walkout.
Wow.
Hi, Jeff. We are landing in St. Thomas early Saturday afternoon and planning to head over to St. Bart's/Anguilla on Monday at some point. Where are you located? As in, what is the exact location for my captain? Does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? I have another couple, Michael and Mary Lerman, with me on my boat. This is the wild. Whoa. And each of us has 4 children. Doesn't list their names. I want to point that out. He says 2 16s, 2 14s, a 13, a 12, an 11, and a 7-year-old. I remind you, this is 4 years after Jeffrey Epstein was convicted. How this guy has a job today is a disgrace. There is no room.
That's disgusting.
For nuance here.
No, that is disgusting.
Fired! Fired! I'm done with these fucking people. Fire this guy right now. What is your excuse? He's a liar. Neighbors with this dude. Claims he only ever met him once. Lived next to him for 20-some years.
That's crazy.
Proven liar. Advising the President of the United States every fucking day. I'm so done with these people.
Yeah,
I'm so fucking
that is
done with these
abhorrent.
people.
That is absolutely abhorrent.
I'm so fucking done with these people.
And I gotta fucking file taxes in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
What?
That one just...
That is disgusting.
And nothing will be done. That's the thing. He'll have a job.
That's
He'll have a job
so
today. He'll have a job
weird.
tomorrow. He'll have a job next week. He'll continue advising.
What is the conversation when he's like, "Hey, I'm about to email Jeff back. You're 4. What are their ages? What are their ages? Like what a fuck."
Remember this? Well, like I promised, I took some secret footage from inside the house, some of the artwork. This isn't everything, I have more. But this is bizarre. Check this out. This footage was recorded in secret. I really shouldn't be showing it. I really don't give a fuck at this point. Obviously, TikTok's banned. I do need to do something about it. I'm really not sure yet, because there is more, and this is really not the worst. There's more. And I'm definitely going to post it. I have to. I have a moral obligation to do so. And whatever the outcome is, it is. But this is on Long Island, New York, and it's out east. I have a decent amount of information, and I have more footage from artwork that's inside the house. So stay tuned, hit that follow button, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
I now have undeniable proof that we are sharing this planet with a non-human race. This isn't clickbait. I'm going to show you how you can see them as well. I urge everyone to go out and get one of these. If you missed my last video, I went down to the BBC and everyone there showed up the same, except the 2 guards outside, proving they are not human. Today, I went down to Buckingham Palace in London. Again, same thing. As I'm walking down, I'm filming, everything's showing normal. I filmed the guards outside of the palace. Exactly the same thing. No heat whatsoever. You can see right behind them, there is heat coming from the buildings. It's showing orange. But even when they're walking, how do you explain that? Again, I don't know whether they're reptilian, vampires, I don't know. I don't claim to know what they are. But what I would recommend is that everyone buys one of these things. And as I said, this is not clickbait. I've not amended the pictures. I've not adjusted the video in any way. This is exactly what I filmed today at Buckingham Palace. And anyone can replicate this themselves. So if you can, go out and buy one of these things and see it for yourself.
The white band, the major cloud formations across the Earth.
This is a segment that they believed wasn't even being recorded, much less suitable for broadcast, for the lens was being zoomed out and the scene was being changed to that of an interior of the astronauts at work, and apparently the stop button popped back up on the recorder without notice. Here is the diffused work light that they used to see camera controls, but not throw light onto the spacecraft's wall. Here they remove part of the crescent insert. Finally, the iris is opened up and you can see the real location of the camera and the very bright and near Earth out the window. Here is the slate for the 19th of July, and the same shot of trickery on the 19th of July, and then the 20th, and the same misleading shot on the 20th. Later that evening, they were said to be walking on the moon. How can this be when they were in Earth orbit only 9 hours earlier, and the moon is some 3 days' journey away? Furthermore, if they genuinely went to the moon, why would they be faking any part of it? Why this trickery with the window?
Yesterday, Congressman Massey and I went to the Department of Justice to read the unredacted Epstein files. We spent about 2 hours there, and we learned that 70 to 80% of the files are still redacted. In fact, there were 6 wealthy, powerful men that the DOJ hid for no apparent reason. When Congressman Massey and I pointed this out to the Department of Justice, they acknowledged their mistake, and now they have revealed the identity of these 6 powerful men. These men are Salvatore Navora, Zorab Mikoladze, Leopig Leonor, Nicola Caputa, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, CEO of Dubai Ports World, and billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner, who was labeled as a co-conspirator by the FBI. Now, my question is, why did it take Thomas Massey and me going to the Justice Department to get these 6 men's identities to become public? And if we found 6 men that they were hiding in 2 hours, imagine how many men they are covering up for in those 3 million files. But the story gets worse. The reality is that Donald Trump's FBI scrubbed these files in March, long before Thomas Massey and I passed the Epstein Transparency Act. Now, my bill is clear. The Epstein Transparency Act requires them to unredact those FBI files. And yet the Justice Department said to me and to Congressman Massey, we just uploaded whatever the FBI sent us. And guess what? The FBI sent scrubbed files. That means the survivor's statement to the FBI, naming rich and powerful men who went to Epstein's island, who went to his ranch, who went to his home and raped and abused underage girls or saw underage girls being paraded, they're all hidden. They're all redacted. It's a little bit of a farce. They're inviting all the members of Congress to go to see the Department of Justice, quote-unquote, unredacted files, but they've got all redacted files from the FBI. And it's not the fault of the Justice Department attorneys. They were just told upload things that Donald Trump's FBI had already scrubbed. It's a blatant violation of the Epstein Transparency Act, But it also asks a fundamental question. Who are they protecting? Why are they protecting these rich and powerful men, people I call part of the Epstein class? Why are we in a country where there is no elite accountability for people who do the most heinous things?
I love the torture video. That's what Jeffrey Epstein said to... And of course, we know the name of the person. It's not redacted or anything at all because they don't want to hide all the bad people from us and protect them when they should be protecting victims. And they would absolutely not redact the name of that person. And that's why we know, right? They would never redact that name, just like they would never redact the name of the person that Jeffrey Epstein asked, do you want me to just do her or do you want me to torture her? They would never redact that name either. They also wouldn't redact the name of the person that gave Jeffrey Epstein permission to kill someone. They would never do that. Why would they do that? They're just trying to protect us from the bad people, so of course they would never do that. They would never redact those names. Did you know that the intestines of babies taste like cream cheese? Did you know that? I know that now. I didn't want to know that, but I know that now because they figured that out when they were eating babies on yachts. Did you know that? Isn't that terrifying? It's a great thing to know. Did you know that they were making little girls into breeding farms where they would breed them over and over and over and force them to have babies over and over and take those babies? If they were miscarriages or if there were complications, they would rip them out with hooks and scary implements. Did you know that? It's a good thing that they would never hide the names of the people that did that because they want to protect the perpetrators rather than the victims. They would never do that. It's a good thing that we have a great justice system that would never do anything bad like take 200,000 plus documents that include the actual horrible things that were done like child rape and injury and hide those away and say that the case is closed and that we will never get to see those that included the actual bad things so we know exactly who did what. The government would never do that. It's a good thing they would never redact the names of the bad people and protect them. They would never do that.
Please, come forward.
Jeffrey is asking if you can FedEx the painting he had made of the Massacre of the Innocents to the ranch. It's the large 9x9 canvas that we had rolled out for him to see in the entryway, where they are killing babies. He wants to use it on the ranch and is hoping you could FedEx it to arrive by Wednesday. Thanks, Sarah. So this is an email from a woman in Epstein's life named Sarah Kay to someone named Rich Barnett. And in this email, they talk about Epstein's recent acquisition of a painting or a copy of a painting known as the Massacre of the Innocents. Now, this is the painting I believe that they are referring to, and it's a pretty graphic painting. It, in full detail and full color, shows the slaughter, the mass slaughter of young boys under the age of 2 years old. The story that this painting is based off of comes from the biblical Gospel of Matthew. And essentially in this story, Herod the Great, the king of Judea, orders the execution of all males under the age of 2 years old in Bethlehem, which leads to an absolutely gruesome scene where children are being ripped from their mother's arms and slaughtered in the streets. Obviously, these paintings by themselves are incredibly disturbing, just like the biblical story is disturbing too. I mean, for me personally, this painting of a baby about to get slaughtered while his mother seems to be crying out in pain, it's really hard to look at. But it's even stranger when you consider that Jeffrey Epstein wanted this picture to be hanging in his ranch's entryway, and his assistant, I don't know who this girl is, but she states that he wants to use it on the ranch. Now, I don't know what you use a painting for. I mean, it's just strange terminology there. But this painting is incredibly graphic for something that you would have hung up in the entryway to your home or ranch. And it spares no detail in its depiction of these babies being murdered. There are gray corpses of children. There are crying mothers. This is art. I want to state that for the censors. This is an art piece. This is a painting. It's not real. But yeah, this is truly one of the most grotesque, disturbing paintings that you could possibly own. And yet, Epstein not only owned the painting, but he wanted it displayed in the entryway to his ranch. And keep in mind here one last thing. It's the wording in this email. This woman describes this painting that Epstein wants in his home so desperately with very specific and descriptive terminology. She describes this painting, The Massacre of the Innocents, as the painting where they are killing babies. And it's also strange because if you looked at it grammatically, it could sound like she's describing the entryway of the ranch where they are killing babies. That's what the grammatical interpretation of that sentence would be, if I'm correct. Now, all the art that Epstein owned and displayed in his homes and properties, it all tells a story. It's like a secret window into a dark, twisted mind. And this painting and this email paint an extremely dark story.
Hi. Hey, Jeffrey, how are you? How's everybody doing? Good? Oh. Hi. Hey, Jeffrey, how are you? How's everybody doing? Good? Oh. Hi. Happy? Hey, Carrie. Is anybody hungry? I just feel like everybody's got to be hungry right now. Good. I was hoping you'd say that because I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza. And so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer? Yes? Harrison?
Yes, she can handle it. She can handle it. And her parties are incredible at her house, too.
Yeah, she does have good parties, and she makes good pizza as well.
She makes great pizza,
Wonderful,
yes.
wonderful pizza. All right, just, y'all are all like, whatever.
What's the pizza? Was it good? What he made the first pizza was better than Clooney. They both made, everybody made a certain kind of pizza.
There's no pizza we didn't love.
Something that he does. 5 different kinds. 5 different kinds or 6 different kinds of pizza. And Clooney's was excellent.
No one can seem to agree on anything anymore except for 2 things. Pizza and us. And us.
We've had pizza. Girl after my own heart. Do we love a pizza or what? We love a pizza. It's so much fun. Now,
it's called Secret Pizza Party. Tomorrow we're gonna Pepper, then you're gonna love this book.
What do you think of it? Are they all pepperoni?
Food's fucking amazing, man. At the end of the dinner party, Seinfeld came walking out. He was like,
nobody go anywhere. You guys are in for a treat. Tonight, we're gonna have some brick oven pizza.
Everybody went crazy in the party. What? Oh my God, brick oven pizza. What?
One lady was like, how many cheeses, Jerry? Jerry was like, 7 different cheeses, 7 different cheeses.
People went crazy. By the way, all these people were white. These are all fucking white people. They start chanting, bop, 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 bop. The fuck is bop, man? Bop, bop, bop. What the fuck is bop? White woman leaned over the table. She was like, it's short for brick oven pizza. I was like, oh shit. Oh shit.
would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby. That's what it is.
Okay.
Who comes up with this?
I don't think, it's not like I'm lying there with little pieces all over my face.
Who thinks of collecting it and having it for, we'll do something with this someday.
And why didn't we come up with that?
Right. It'd be rich.
And so we call it, I call it the penis facial. And I think when you see how good it is to your face, you too will run to your local facialist and say, give me the penis.
Hi. Hey, Jeffrey, how are you? How's everybody doing? Good? Oh, hi. Happy? Carrie? Is anybody hungry? I just feel like everybody's got to be hungry right now. Good. I was hoping you'd say that because I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza. And so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer? Yes? Harrison? Yes? Yes? Mark? All right. Too large? What do you think? I'm going to order some pizza. That's what I'll do. So I borrowed Pharrell's hat, and I thought I'd pass it around and get some money for the pizza because nobody ever really... What do you have, Harvey? 200?
200.
Let's start.
Let's start.
Let's see. What do you have, John? Would you have 20? Kevin?
20. That's for you.
Thanks so much. Okay. Guess what? Pizza's here. Hello. Come on down. I lied. We weren't going backstage. Okay. So we have just vegetables with like tomato sauce. We have cheese. We have different kinds. Who's hungry? Who's going to eat on this side? Okay. Cheese, that's a cheese. Yeah. Julia wants cheese. Who's your favorite movie star? They're here. Well, who do you want to talk to? The whole thing? All right, great, great. And then I don't have any money. Who here has... Sandy? Where's Harvey Weinstein? Harvey. Harvey. No pressure, only 1 billion people watching. Whatever you feel is right.
Mr. Beast is part of the elite.
Whoa, it's like slicing into a baby.
He uploaded this video called "I ate a $70,000 golden pizza 5 years ago." And coincidentally, this is what he said at the minute 3 with 55 seconds.
Whoa, it's like slicing into a baby.
Whoa, it's like slicing into a baby. And just a few weeks ago, he officially signed a multi-million contract with the Rockefeller. This is just another proof that every single one of them are in the same group and we are living the end times. Spoiler alert, there is only one man that can save us, and his name is Jesus Christ.
You throw away the head and keep the body. In this disturbing conversation, Epstein seems to be referring to the women that he's trafficking as an aquarium. You can see he's having this conversation with a Olivier Olivier, I don't know how to say his name. But I'm going to read this to you, and warning, it gets really disturbing. You can see Epstein wrote at the bottom, "No problem. A friend that built the Beijing airport asked if I knew a bank that was interesting. I thought I'd run it by you. If it were good for you, I'm not involved in any way, nor would I expect to be." Then this guy, Olivier, whatever, says, "Thanks, very nice of you. Where are you now?" Then Epstein writes back, "On my island in the Caribbean with an aquarium full of girls." So keep that in mind, an aquarium full of girls. He is making these women out to be fish, or as you're going to see, shrimp in a few moments, and that's when it gets disturbing. Then this guy writes, "The king of Saudi Arabia has a few white sharks at his Jeddah palace. I totally prefer yours. Sure, I would enjoy the view." And then again, as to our Russian, I guess some might refer to them as white sharks. So then they start obviously here referring to these women as shrimp. He says, "I like shrimp, but not so much if it's too pink, although I'm definitely more into white than into any other color. I like your philosophy." Then right here we get the infamous now message, "No, some are like shrimp, you throw away the head and keep the body." So what that means, we don't necessarily know. Is this actually Epstein and this guy referring to decapitating a woman, keeping the body? Are they talking about mutilating a corpse after death and preserving the body? What does that even mean? Throw away the head and keep the body. It's physically impossible to throw away or toss out a living thing's head with its body still remaining and be alive. It's impossible, obviously. So, yeah, this is some really deeply disturbing shit to me. Then they continue on, "As long as you don't have any hammerhead ones, I like white sharks." And then they say, "I can't even think of the smell of black shrimp. Ugh." So clearly this seems to also not only be a conversation about potentially murdering and mutilating women, but there's also plenty of casual racism throughout this entire string of messages as well. With them saying, "I can't even think of the smell of black shrimp. Ugh." But keep in mind, the DOJ, the FBI, Trump himself, they claim that no investigation is needed at all whatsoever. This is all done. Everybody's been held accountable. None of these people talking to Epstein should ever face any sort of music. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of all this? Please share out these videos, like and comment to spread the word.
Why do you go in there first of all? Why don't you just go to class?
We go to class sometimes too, yes.
Right, so
we go to class sometimes,
okay.
yes.
Okay, so you go to class?
Yes.
Okay, and then what happens when you get
and
to
then
class?
they got this, in my classroom, they got this little door at the back, right at the back of the classroom. They've got a little door and it's just like a tiny little room. There's all stuffed with sweets, prizes, especially to pay the children with sweets, to do sex to them.
Right.
Yeah, so they give sweets as much as they like.
Yeah.
So they give sweets so till they're like full. They'll they're done, so because while they eat the sweets, they do sex to them. So they pay them sweets, and then after they do what they want them to do.
You know who Jeffrey Epstein's sons low-key are? The Island Boys. As a kid, they were with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, I remember.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Look, that's them with Jeffrey Epstein. And it literally looks like his sons.
Yeah.
Look at the faces. It literally looks like they're related.
Yeah.
Yo, and then they grew up, and they became these influencers. The Island Boys. That's Jeffrey Epstein's sons.
That's
because they're already into like weird stuff.
Oh, no.
Because they kissed.
Oh, yeah.
They were like incestual. They're like incestual and shit. Jeffrey Epstein was the reason for DLC content, and microtransactions ruined gaming. He was the one that came up with the idea, and it came out. This is all in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
He was writing an email to the makers of Call of Duty, talking about you have to start introducing microtransactions into these games.
Okay.
You'll be very profitable.
Okay.
That's why we have microtransactions today, and that's why gaming is ruined.
Oh, fuck that.
This guy's the actual devil.
Yeah,
but
no.
This guy's
Why
the
would he
actual
do that
devil,
shit? So microtransaction, that means like
so they can make more money.
Yeah.
You know.
You guys, there is over 14,000 McDonald's in the USA. McDonald's produces over 6.5 million burgers a day to be consumed a day. A day. And McDonald's claims to go through over 7 million cows a day. So where are all the cows? Where are all the cows? Okay, I mean, we have a beef shortage here, yet they continue to consume that much in one day at McDonald's. Remember what I said, how many McDonald's there are all over this country? Almost 14,000 McDonald's in the entire continental United States. The illusion behind America's beef supply numbers. Is it false? Is it true? Are you really eating beef at McDonald's?
In the Epstein files, there was some things said about McDonald's, bro. Jeffrey Epstein was writing an email explaining how a certain group of people, they tricked the goat into eating human flesh. The meat that's in...
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So McDonald's has ties to hospital. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald Hospital.
Yeah.
Where's the farms?
That's a good question.
They did the math. There's like the amount of burgers that McDonald's produces. There's not enough cows.
Yeah, 100%.
There's not enough cows.
Yeah.
So where does it come from?
No.
Yeah, so,
Gavin.
I just got it. I'm just gonna show you a compilation of people finding weird things in their food, right?
Oh my god, this is mod.
Kimberly's. Somebody found like a tooth.
Went to McDonald's.
Look.
I got 2 teeth on the day.
Guys are laughing, bro.
In The Simpsons.
Jimbo, why don't you assist lunch lady Doris in the kitchen?
My McDonald's burger, it looks like it's a tooth.
Machiavelli said, the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. If a man surrounds himself with flatterers, cowards, and people who only agree with him, he is not truly powerful. He is controlled by the need to feel safe. Strong leaders do the opposite. They keep sharp, capable people close, even those who challenge them, because strength grows through pressure, not comfort. You can pretend to be confident and wear the mask of authority, but your circle always reveals the truth. The people beside you show your standards, your courage, and your ambition. Surround yourself with fools, and their mistakes become your failures. Surround yourself with thinkers, and their victories strengthen your rule. Power is never built alone. It is built by the hands you choose to trust. And in the end, the world judges you not only by what you achieved, but by who stood beside you while you were building it.
And that's how they trap your soul in reincarnation. Not because someone made you reincarnate, but because you reincarnate yourself. Before you die, you must detach yourself from all physical desires, because when your body dies, you are stripped of the physical reality, and you are left with the internal, with your thoughts, desires, programs, addictions. If you do not release these traumas, addictions, and desires of the material world, then you will carry them over into the spiritual plane. These desires and addictions cannot be fulfilled in a spiritual plane. Therefore, your consciousness is not ready to progress on towards higher dimensions. Therefore, you manifest yourself because you desire the physical things back into the 3D reality. You have to let go and make your heart as light as a feather. The easiest way to prepare yourself for life after death is by... And that's...
We've been doing this for thousands of years, since down to Adam's time. We take the children of our enemy, which is the white race, and we bring them to the basements in the synagogues, where we drain the blood and watch them die there. We mix it with the Passover bread, and so we eat the blood of our enemies. And the bodies, we give them to the slaughterhouses, and those are pounds and pounds and pounds of meat that we grind up in the sausage and the hamburger, and that's why we made those the most popular thing, sausage for breakfast and hamburger for lunch. And so all the goyim out here are really eating their children. And even when we say this outright and tell you people, you don't believe it.
I don't think Mount Rushmore is lying. I think the story around it is because this doesn't look like a mountain. It looks like something and carefully rewritten. 10 years, dynamite. That story only works, and once you do, you realize the problem isn't how it was built. It's why the question. I used to think Mount Rushmore was just Mount Rushmore. A place you drive to, you stop, you look, you leave. Not something you sit with, not something you question. And maybe that's the point. You're given the story once, clean, efficient. 4 faces, 10 years, dynamite, hand tools, end of discussion. There's no space in that story for hesitation. No room for, that doesn't feel right. I didn't notice that until I stopped looking at it as a monument. I just stood there longer, not thinking about presidents, not thinking about history, just thinking about time and stone. And that's when it happened. Not a theory, not a conclusion, just a quiet feeling. This isn't the kind of thing you're supposed to ask questions about. So I stopped listening to the story and went looking for the numbers. Mount Rushmore was worked on from 1927 to 1941. About 14 years, depending on how you count the pauses. Roughly 400 workers passed through the project. Not all at once, not all doing the same job. Each face is about 60 feet tall. 6 stories, vertical, cut into solid granite. By the end, about 450,000 tons of rock had been removed. That's not a rumor, that's the official number. And granite matters here. This isn't soft stone, it doesn't carve politely. Granite resists, it fractures, and when it fails suddenly. The primary method was drilling and dynamite. Drill, pack, blast. After that, honeycombing, many small holes close together so sections could be broken off by hand. That part is supposed to explain the precision. But every hole takes time. Every blast risks cracking what you meant to keep. And when time is tight, finishing always suffers. Corners get cut. Details simplify. That's not an accusation. That's just how work behaves. And yet, what we're looking at doesn't look rushed, which leaves you in an awkward place. Either this was one of the most precisely executed stone projects ever done in that window, or the timeline isn't telling the whole story. Dynamite is very good at one thing: making material disappear. It doesn't sculpt, it doesn't refine, it removes. And yet, we're told it was the primary tool here. On paper, that sounds fine, but paper doesn't have eyes. Faces do. Eyes are unforgiving, A fraction too deep and the expression collapses. A few inches off and the face goes dead. There is no margin for error there. Look at the eyes on Mount Rushmore, not as presidents, just as eyes. They're balanced, aligned. They hold expression depending on the light. That's not what almost looks like. That's finished. So if the most delicate work was done by hand, where is the record of that work? There are hundreds of photos. Men drilling, men hanging on cables, men watching blasts, but not men shaping eyelids, not men correcting expressions. And finishing is where skill lives. It's where mistakes happen and where history usually leaves a trail. Here, the faces appear without visible struggle. So the question isn't, did they use dynamite? We know they did. The question is quieter. How much was created? And how much was revealed? People point to the photographs, and there are a lot of them. Drills, cables, explosions. At first glance it looks convincing, but look closer. What the photos show is removal. Rock being blasted away. What they don't show is creation. No eyelids being shaped. No expressions being softened. The record jumps from rough stone to finished faces. No visible struggle in between. And when a historical record skips the most delicate stage, you're left wondering whether that stage ever looked the way we imagine it did. Granite doesn't hide work, it records it. Every drill slips a little, every chisel hesitates, hard stone keeps those mistakes. But these surfaces, they're clean, too clean. Not polished, not raw, uniform. No hesitation marks, no reworking. That's strange, because rushed handwork always leaves a mess. Here, the stone feels more resolved than worked, as if the shape was already there, and the job was simply to uncover it. Jefferson was originally carved on the other side of Washington. They started it, committed to it. Then, Iadzazi, they decided the stone wasn't good enough, so they blew it up, not adjusted, destroyed. And started again on the opposite side. Pause there. This project is supposed to be racing time, and yet it had room to erase months of work. That's not how time pressure behaves. You don't destroy finished work unless time isn't actually the enemy. Right in the middle of all this, they cut a tunnel, a 70-foot tunnel blasted into the mountain, the Hall of Records, documents, messages for the future. A philosophical side project. Think about that. A job supposedly fighting the clock doesn't add complexity unless it has room to breathe. When the hall was stopped, it wasn't the mountain. It was oversight, which suggests something uncomfortable. Time wasn't the real limit, someone watching was. This was the Great Depression. Banks failed, people lost homes, men waited in food lines. If you lived through it, or grew up hearing about it, you know, money slowed everything down. Except here, Rushmore kept going, crews stayed, explosives kept coming. Enough to relocate a face, enough to carve a tunnel. It didn't mean the depression didn't exist here. It meant it didn't apply equally. So the question is simple. If the country was short on money, who wasn't? The same hand appears again. Gutzon Borglum, Stone Mountain, Georgia, even larger scale, same medium, same confidence. One monument can be explained away. 2. Start to look like a pattern, and patterns don't ask if something was possible. They ask, what kind of process makes this look routine? At a certain point, you stop trying to solve it. You stop lining up explanations, stop arguing with strangers in your head, because the question changes. It's no longer, how did they do this? It becomes, what did they actually begin with? What if this wasn't a blank mountain waiting for an idea? What if the hard part, the part that breaks tools, costs time, and leaves scars, had already happened long before anyone showed up with a plan? That doesn't require a villain. It doesn't require a secret group or a hidden hand. It only requires that history behaves the same way people do. You clean things up, you simplify, you tell the version that's easiest to pass on, until eventually, the story feels older than the work itself. Mount Rushmore doesn't confirm any of this. It doesn't deny it either. It just sits there, finished, undisturbed, and quiet. And maybe that's the point. Not to give you answers, but to see who's willing to stay with the question after the story runs out.
This is amazing. Watch this.
In the other videos, we talked about how Abraham had a son named Isaac, who then had a son named Jacob, aka Israel. And then Jacob had 12 sons. And today we'll be talking about two of them. One of them is Levi, and the other is Judah, but mostly Levi today. Levi had 3 sons. Kohath has 3 kids, which are Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. Here is a list of Aaron's descendants, which could be found in 1 Chronicles chapter 6, and we're going to highlight Zadok. Zadok. And from Zadok came the group called the Zadokites. We'll take a pause there and come back to that later. In the other videos, we talked about how down the line of Judah is David, and then down David's line is Jesus, the best friend. Oh my gosh, you guys, quick side note. The people in the tribe of Levi became the Levitical priests. So all of these people down this line are Levitical priests. When David was reigning as king, he asked Zadok for help to have a division of priests. This information can be found in 1 Chronicles 24, the division of priests. So with the help of Zadok, a descendant of Eleazar, David separated them into divisions for their appointed order of ministering. First division, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, and 8th is Abijah. And guess who belonged to the priestly division of Abijah? Zechariah, who then married a woman named Elizabeth from the line of Aaron. They have a baby named John, the baptizer, who then baptizes Jesus. According to Luke 1, verse 5, there was a priest named Zechariah who belonged to the priestly division of Abijah. His wife Elizabeth was also a descendant of Aaron. Let's come down a little bit to verse 11. An angel of the Lord appeared to him, to Zechariah, and he says, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah. Your prayer has been heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you are to call him John." Okay, pause. Do y'all remember the Zadokites we talked about earlier? Later on, the Zadokites changed their names to Sadducees. And guess who is in the group of Sadducees? It is Caiaphas, bro. He was the guy who was like, let's get Jesus killed. But through the resurrection of Jesus came hope and restoration. Because from the line of Levi came Joseph, aka Barnabas. Here's proof from Acts 4, verse 36. Joseph, a Levite from Cyprus, whom the apostles called Barnabas. Now let's go to Acts 11, verse 24. It says, Barnabas, he was a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and faith, and a great number of people were brought to the Lord. AKA Jesus still wins.
And reading the Bible, learning about God, Jesus, love. Jesus said, bring on the children, imitate children, you know, be like little children, and to take care of others, take care of old people. When I see children, I see the face of God. That's why I love them so much. That's what I see. I love to do things for children, and I try to imitate Jesus. And I'm not saying I am Jesus. I'm not saying
we're clear on that.
Right. I'm trying to imitate Jesus in the fact that he said to be like children, to love children, to be as pure as children are. And to make yourselves as innocent and see the world through eyes of wonderment and the whole magical quality of it all, and I love that. And we were raised with those values. Those are very important values, and my family and I, we were raised with those values, and they continue strong in us today. So if I can open my gates, and those gates open, and that bliss, explosion of screaming and laughter from the children, and they run past the bridge, they run on the rides, I say, thank you, God. I feel I won God's smile of approval, you know, because I'm doing something that brings joy and happiness to other people. Caring.
Everyone keeps asking me how I know about all the lands beyond the ice wall, or the 178 worlds within the Great Dome. And there's actually 3 books: The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Wall, which talks about his journey to the ice wall and through it, Terra Infinita, which talks about all of the worlds outside of the ice wall, and The Hidden Lands Beyond Antarctica, which goes into more detail. But there's actually a book that includes all 3, and it's cheaper than what you would pay for each one of these individually. Now, there's not a lot of copies left, but I put the link below.
Prove to you right now how Satan disguises as an angel of light. Look at that normal oatmeal, right? Yummy. Strawberries and cream. Well, hold up. Watch, but you gotta look closely. Look, if you move in closely, you'll see something insane. Look at this. You'll see this.
We used to keep these instant oatmeals on deck, and I personally like the strawberries and cream the most. And then I started paying attention to the ingredients, and if you notice right here, you'll see natural flavor. When I learned what this is made out of in this, it blew my mind. Just check this out. Hold on 1 second.
And castoreum, typically called natural flavor, is taken from a beaver's anal gland. It's far cheaper to use castoreum, or beaver's butt, to flavor strawberry oatmeal.
That's what Satan be doing, y'all. That's what Satan be doing, y'all. We're just so oblivious. Dude, what? Beaver's butthole?
This is Nimrod and the Tower of Babylon. He was the first world leader. It is even rumored in extra biblical text that he wore the garments of Adam from the Garden of Eden. And he put that on, and he had a supernatural influence. He purposed in his heart to break through to heaven, and everyone spoke one language. So they began to build this tower. This tower was shown that it was actually going to be accomplished and break through the firmament. God saw it, and he said, look, it has been purposed in their hearts to achieve whatever it is they desire, because the people are of one heart and one mind. Let us go down and visit them. They went down, and they gave each person different languages so that they could not understand each other. So this task could not be accomplished. Now, we see this as the prototype and the method that has always been from the beginning, where mankind is trying to get their own way, their own technology to get to God and break through the firmament by influence of the devil and one world leader. All these leaders have come about in the past to do what? To conquer all the other ones, to make all the other ones speak one language, to unify all the other ones by force or by persuasion, to get back to God and break through the firmament. That's why it's still in place today with a one world government. It is called the mystery of Babylon.
Several months ago that the families started a wrongful death investigation into my brother's murder, and you know, it leads where it leads. You know, it leads where it leads.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think this trial is going to be the end of the story?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But it's a start. You know, my brother was legend. His murder was legend.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot to it, but there are answers. You know what I mean? There are answers. It just has to be focused in on.
You gotta watch this.
Jesus was crucified at 33 years old at 3 p.m. on April 3rd, 33 AD, was on the cross for 3 hours, then came another 3 hours of darkness, then he died, was buried, and resurrected 3 days later. There were 3 women at the tomb. The Holy Trinity, or Godhead, is Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and reality is made up of 3s: birth, life, death, mind, body, spirit, time, space, matter, liquid, solid, gas, height, width, depth, protons, neutrons, electrons, the primary colors. All colors stem from red, green, and blue. And with all life forms, it's father, mother, child. Repeat. And numbers, it's 3, 6, 9. Repeating with the filler number 10. 3, 6, 9. 33, 66, 99. About 1/3 or 33% of the whole Earth's population is Christian. That means 1 out of every 3 human beings on Earth identify with him and profess to believe in him. His ministry was 3 years long.
Everybody is talking about the Epstein files, but nobody is talking about the neuroscientific effect on the population and why this is being done. For months, nothing was coming out about these files until 3 million pages of horrific atrocities were released to us all at once. This is the perfect recipe for mass vicarious trauma. Our amygdalas, the fear center in our brains, are hyper-activated, causing outrage, disgust, and hypervigilance. And at the same time, the prefrontal cortex, the thinking rational part of your brain, is down-regulated. And this is happening across millions of people at the exact same time. And so, as a result, social media is flooded with content about this. I guarantee you, it's all you're seeing on your For You page. And this leads to desensitization and mass compassion fatigue. Compassion fatigue is empathetic burnout. It is well studied in the medical field and in first responders. And it is when your amygdala physically cannot fire anymore. And so the outrage, the disgust, it's replaced by a numb helplessness. And so these files have been systematically released in such a way as to mimic trauma neuroscience, leaving the entire population feeling helpless and numb. So listen, I have known about this information for years before this was released. I know how these people think. I know what they are trying to do. They want your outrage. They want you to feel helpless. They want you to feel numb. They are trying to rob you of your human empathy. And so the way to beat them is to set your heart ablaze. Kindle the fire within, not to burn down the world, but to bring light into the darkness. Control your outrage. Control your attention and focus it on what you can actually do in your life to bring light into this world. This is going to reactivate your prefrontal cortex and recruit your reticular activating system to harness the full power of your brain to actually find solutions to make the world a better place rather than just being depressed about how dark and terrible it is. So yeah, I'm angry because they can't keep getting away with this, but the way to stop evil is with love. And so I'm going to love even harder. I'm going to work even harder every single day to make the world a better place where light can shine, where people don't have to be afraid, where terrible things like this don't happen. And I hope that each and every single one of you is there to help me.
Least, people found one particular photo that looked like a bunch of raw rotisserie chicken laid out on the kitchen table. But here's the thing though, for some reason, one of the chickens had blacked out. And of course, this got people talking because they wanted to figure out why one chicken had randomly blacked out. I mean, if it's just a chicken, why black it out? Unless, of course, it's not actually a chicken. People zoomed in on it, and that's when they realized that the blacked out chicken was actually something else. And your guess is as good as mine. Jeffrey wasn't just inappropriately messing with these newborns. He was also eating them for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even dessert.
Check this out. One image in the Epstein files list contains an image that shows 2 chickens, and in the middle is something that's been redacted. But if you look closely, it really looks like a baby's leg. If it's just another chicken, why block it out? That's my point. And you can see the full leg right there. And people, yes, remember when Hillary Clinton's emails came out when she was joking about sacrificing chickens to Moloch? Who's that?
But it gets even worse. This entire thing made people dig deeper into the whole Epstein and Illuminati rabbit hole, and the evidence they uncovered is literally undeniable. At this point, if you still think there isn't at least some truth to what is being said, but everyone cannot be telling the same lie. Anyway, one of the many receipts people found was this video of model Gabriella Rico frantically crying while telling people that she was paid to attend an Epstein party. And during the party, she literally saw these celebrities and politicians consuming flesh. The video was taken all the way back in 2009. She hasn't been seen ever since. No one knows if she is dead or alive. The video was buried by the media until just recently, when people dug it back up. As for Gabriella, her whereabouts are still a mystery. Not only that, but a video of one of the female victims also resurfaced, and it was honestly heartbreaking to hear her reveal how Jeffrey and these other industry elites mistreated them.
estúpidas así, pero que habían comido humanos. Humanos. Fuera la carne humana.
So they make a hole in, and they tie string around, and then they put it all around the body, but they're naked, and they got this tattoo on their tribal with like little piercings.
Okay.
Not like earrings, but like little gold piercings around their private, and they all dance around with skulls on in the church there.
Okay.
So they have skulls, like the teachers and the staff, they got 20 skulls each.
And how do you know you've got 20 each?
Yes, because I can't
leave.
Of what the CIA and the Defense Department have been doing for a long time as far as using us as guinea pigs for mind control and other types of horrible things they have in mind for us and the rest of the people in the world. What are some of them?
Well, it started out basically with the CIA doing experimentations on their own men to discover if they could get rid of agents who were going to quit the department and still had classified information. So they utilized different types of drugs and pain and hypnosis and electric shock to try and get the guys to forget. Then they also did experimentations to using different chemicals to see if you can induce a person to commit a crime or induce him to do that or to do this. Of course, the CIA claimed that it didn't carry it through. The documentation we got was actually that they did that. Then we came across the overall project called MK Ultra. Its earlier code name was Artichoke, and that included 149 sub-projects. Those, 149. Yeah. And those sub-projects range from what I just described to open-air testing in the United States, the experimentation on prisoners, experimentation on soldiers, experimentation on college students.
Would these people know they were being experimented on and gave their approval?
No, except for the quote-unquote voluntary Army soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
And the way the voluntary Army program worked is it started in 1959, and the guys were just told that they would be doing experimentation on new weapons, right? And then they get to Fort Detrick, Maryland, where the experimentation was done, and find out that they were going to be doing it on drugs and chemicals. But they were never told what they would be experimented on. You know, they just knew that they went crazy for a couple of days or so forth and so on, and then years later have similar things to the guys who have had Agent Orange, because there's one chemical that was used called BZ, and it's 100 times stronger than LSD. It's a very gross drug that causes a person to totally go out of his head for at least 12 hours, sometimes up to 2 to 3 weeks, where he doesn't even know where he is or who he is.
Are there residual effects to BZ?
Yes. Now, the Army at first said that they'd done testing to this.
So Michael Jackson used his life to protect children, yet was misunderstood by the world as a criminal. Neverland, this mysterious place, was not as simple as the outside world thought. Recently, a previously undisclosed truth was revealed. In Neverland, Michael Jackson shielded children from the forces of darkness, keeping them away from the terrifying reality of Epstein's island. He provided children with a sanctuary, protecting them from harm and abuse, yet was misrepresented by the media and the public as a criminal. He was falsely accused of abuse, while the real abusers remained undisclosed. Macaulay Culkin and other celebrities publicly defended Jackson, proving that he was not only a musical genius, but also a hero who fought for the safety and protection of children. He not only protected children from physical harm, but also helped celebrities like Britney Spears, offering her advice when she faced control from her father, protecting her freedom. Today, as more truths are revealed, we can finally see Michael Jackson for who he truly was, a hero who sacrificed for others.
A decade ago, he
villain. Kidnapping children is not what great nations do.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
He's the guy.
You don't know what it is. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, for years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, and they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things, and you know what they're trying to do? This thing is buzzing. Hold on. They're trying to turn us into, consumer drones of some sort.
How did he know?
The songs you sing out loud are actually manifesting your future.
Your voice is the most powerful frequency tool you have. Every lyric you repeat is literally programming your subconscious and sending a signal to the universe. So here's the quick upgrade. Only sing songs that match the energy you want to call in. If you want love, sing love songs. If you want money, sing about abundance and freedom. If you want peace, choose calming, uplifting tracks. Start right now. Pick one song that feels like your future self and sing it out loud today.
别墅里面唱 K， 水池里面饮龙鱼。我送阿硕茶具和研磨下笔，直接给我4个字算大展宏图。大师亲手提笔字，大展宏图，搬来放在办公室，哎，大展宏图，员工都点头，有料，鸿运不能走。
The life you want starts with controlling the thoughts you repeat. You may not notice it, but your mind copies whatever you think the most. Repeat worry, you move like someone who expects problems. Repeat doubt, you act like someone who's not ready. But repeat thoughts of strength, clarity, and possibility, and your whole energy changes. You start making choices the future you would make. You see opportunities the old you would have missed. So choose better thoughts on purpose. Repeat the ones that match the life you want, not the life you're trying to grow out of. Because once your thoughts shift, your life has no choice but to follow.
This video is probably going to sound crazy, but after what we've learned about the Epstein files, the conspiracy theorists were right. So let him cook. Play the video.
A lot of videos have been surfacing about McDonald's lately, about restaurants that they're serving, human. Yeah. Where are they getting all these cows? Where are they getting all this meat? And a lot of these videos have been surfacing right after the Epstein files, right? Mm-hmm. That there's human meat in the meat, in the beef patties. Mm-hmm. And, they found teeth in the beef patties many times. And I've seen a lot of these videos recently. I'm like, what is going on?
The McDonald's stuff is crazy. And you could go look this up too. This is verifiable. But there was this popular rabbi, I think it was a couple of decades ago, and he was on a talk show. And he was bragging about how, the trapped children, they, instead of disposing of their body in the cemetery, because think about it, hundreds of thousands of kids in America go missing every year. There's this video of this rabbi from a couple decades ago, and he was bragging about how, they grind up children and they put them in the McDonald's meat.
I mean, we steal 100 to 300,000 children a year just here in this country, and we drain the blood, and we mix it with a Passover blend, and then we throw the body into the slaughterhouses that we own, and we grind up all the bodies and the sausage and the hamburger. McDonald's is one of our favorite outlets, and the people, they eat it for breakfast, they eat it, their children for lunch, and as Jews, we gotta do what we do.
It makes a lot of sense because, first of all, McDonald's, like the amount of burgers that they serve, there's not even that many cows in the world for them to serve that. And there have been studies showing that there is human DNA and even like rat DNA and horse DNA in a lot of these McDonald's burgers. Wow. But what these elite people are doing is they're taking children, because hundreds of thousands of kids go missing every year in America, and you can't bury hundreds of thousands of kids in cemeteries every year. So what they do is they use this fast food to dispose of them, and we are like the garbage disposal for these trafficked children. And I remember finding out about this a couple years ago, and I was sick to my stomach. I remember I ate McDonald's like a couple of days prior. That was the last time I ate it. And you don't even feel good after eating it because your body is rejecting it, because we weren't made to eat ground up children. I know that sounds crazy, but you could go verify this for yourself. If you go look it up, I don't remember the exact rabbi's name, but he was on a show kind of bragging about it, how they grind up the his words, not mine, and they dispose of them in fast food like McDonald's. It's just sickening. That's why, like, as a Christian, I don't eat fast food, not just because it's unhealthy, but because I know that there's something more than just cows and the burgers there.
So do y'all remember this video? It was of somebody looking on the dark web at shoe listings. All the shoes were covered in blood and had people's names and ages on it. Well, the same guy decided to actually buy one of these pairs. And of course, the theory was that you're buying the shoes and you're also going to get maybe the deceased person's remains with the shoes. No. He got a tape. Now, what is on that tape, I will show you in another video. He then proceeded to test the boots to see if it was indeed blood on them. Check it out.
Currently with the boots, I just got the blacklight in the mail.
For the black light to work, we need something called luminol, some hydrogen peroxide. And when I dab some on the clean parts of the soul, nothing really happens. But when I dab it on the more suspicious parts, it does foam up. So
we all knew it was blood. We all knew that. Anyway, this case gets a little sick and twisted. People think that he's faking it. Also, the original creator is Shiloh WWE. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Do you remember when 360 children described ritual abuse through secret tunnels, and after everyone was acquitted, archaeologists found the tunnels? In 1983, children at McMartin Preschool in Manhattan Beach made allegations, not vague claims. 360 children, consistent descriptions, taken through underground passages to hidden rooms, photographed, rituals, multiple perpetrators, medical evidence documented abuse, 7-year trial, longest in U.S. history, all defendants acquitted. Media declared it satanic panic, proof children fabricate abuse through suggestion. Then archaeologist E. Gary Stickle excavated the demolished site. He found hand-dug tunnel systems beneath the preschool, entrance points where children described them, exit locations matching testimony. He published his findings, but McMartin remained the definitive false allegation case, which raises one question. If children fabricated the tunnels through suggestion, why did archaeologists find them exactly where children said they'd be?
You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true.
So it's not just the dogs and the cats, not just the pets.
It's not just the dogs and the cats. They're full-on vampires. And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood. They do, Tucker. Stop staring at me like that.
You're freaking me out, man. Because you spent your life in the entertainment business, so I think you have some authority on this.
So many kids that I was in mental institutions with over the years, they are all from those cults. And they've covered it all up. They covered it all up. And, you know, I just pray to God. I'm just going to pray to God that he opens everybody's eyes in this country. By the time we go in to vote for Trump, that he will open up everybody's eyes and they will stop pretending to be asleep. You know what they say, you can't wake people up that are pretending to be asleep, but I pray to God, please wake up even those who are pretending to be asleep with the irrefutable truth of what the worst people on this planet are really up to. They are really up to that. They're doing it. There are so many victims. There are so many victims. There are so many children victims that are now adults. The epidemic in America is child sexual abuse, and I just want people to see it. I want people to open up their eyes and see how prevalent and horrible it is. 1 of 3 girls, 1 of 4 boys in this country today. It's just horrible, and you just can't lie it away anymore. It's going to get more and more apparent, and you got to choose your side.
Oh my days. Oh my diddy. These are not statues, brother. These are petrified people. Oh, you son of a bitch. So let me see if I got this straight. You're trying to tell me a man 600 years ago used a hammer and chisel for 2 weeks and he chiseled a skeleton? Come on, brother. That don't make sense. So the arm fell off, and for some reason there's a skeleton type. I don't even know what that's meant to be. But how can that be inside the solid marble? You told me it was solid marble, brother. That a man used a hammer and chisel for 2 weeks. Yeah, Leonardo, Michelangelo, one of them, man, Donatello, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. How could he have chiseled that inside? And why? You only can see it if it breaks. Brother, that looks like a skeleton.
Kidnapping children is not what great nations do.
When Jim Carrey said this, he revealed that celebrities kidnap children, but now another celebrity even more famous has come forward with something far more horrifying. After the Epstein files were released, it became clear that many famous names were tied to disturbing crime, especially celebrities we all know. But among them, Nicki Minaj decided to come forward and expose everything. She turned on everyone, revealing the secrets of the biggest celebrities she had worked with, and it is terrifying. The day after the Epstein files dropped, Nicki posted several messages, but two in particular caught the attention of millions. She claimed that Jay-Z and Beyonce sacrificed children to maintain and increase their power. Along with this, she shared a photo showing Jay-Z on two separate occasions, each time surrounded by women he had relationships with. In both cases, the age gaps raised serious questions. The second post was even more disturbing. She wrote, "Your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of a blood sacrifice to their god." She explains that they do this for their god because he only accepts this kind of sacrifice. It quickly becomes clear that the power of Jay-Z and Beyonce was not just built on music. According to these claims, it came from something far darker that we are only now discovering. And the worst part is this. Jay-Z reportedly left the United States after it was revealed that his name appeared multiple times in the Epstein files.
Talking a lot or referring to the Trilateral Commission, because I think this is probably the thing that people know least about. You don't find them in history books, and you don't find them in economics textbooks and all. Tell us about these.
Basically, these organizations were all created at different times in the 20th century in the face of particular problems that were faced by the corporate community. In the case of the Council on Foreign Relations, it was formed shortly after World War I, when statespeople came and corporate leaders came back from Versailles. And they said, we have to have a better perspective on foreign relations now that we're clearly going to be the dominant power in the world. And they created this discussion group in order to make themselves more sophisticated about these issues. These organizations are funded by large corporations and by foundations. They then bring together these business people for discussions with academic experts. These academic experts are...
You see, there is something rather extraordinary that happens.
So all of the school photos of every single American child is in the Epstein files. If you're a parent, this should make your stomach drop. Every year, millions of families across America proudly display school photos of their children.